Hi folks, it's Matt Young from Tukuna Acting Club, and this is for my monologue students. Today we're going to talk about answering the question of who. Who are you talking to when you're delivering a monologue? Because you see, a monologue isn't just something that's spoken into the void. A monologue is usually part of a conversation. Somebody said something that has motivated you to say your monologue. And also in a bigger play or a movie, there's scenes on either sides of it. So today we want to think about who we are speaking to. The big things that people like to say is they're like, oh, I'm talking to myself, or I'm talking to God, or I'm talking to a big audience, right? And that's a way of sort of not being super specific about who you're talking to. So let's say, for example, my monologue is about trying to get a job. I want that job, and so I'm going to be speaking directly to the person who can give me that job. So I might think of someone from my own life. I might think of my first boss, so that I know exactly who it is. Or I might have done a Google search and found, someone who looks stern, and I'm imagining speaking to that person. But then what I do is there are three people that really emotionally activate me: my mother, my son, and my dog. They each give me something that's really important. My mother, there's all these feelings of, being a child again. So sometimes those feelings are some, pretty active feelings like shame or regret or embarrassment, judgment. Yeah, so that's a good person to use if it's asking for a job, if it's someone that you're afraid is going to judge you. My son is just someone who just activates me because he can say one word and it gets me really cross or really, frustrated or whatever. And again, I love him, and that's why. And then the third person is my dog. So the dog is like someone who's always going to give me unconditional love and not judge me. And I might be able to be a bit more emotional around my dog than I would around a human because they can't judge me or speak back. So therefore, if I want a job, I'm going to try those three people. I'm going to imagine speaking it to those three people and see which one actually feels best, which activates and motivates me the most, right? It doesn't have to be this. You can try 5 people, you can try 10 people, but what's important is that you're really specific about who you're talking to. So this is where the problem of talking to yourself or talking to God is not as strong a choice, because again, even if I'm like my own worst enemy or my own worst critic or my own champion, speaking to myself, it's like speaking into the camera right now. I'm speaking for a very specific audience right now. In fact, I can tell you who those specific people are. I won't name them, but there's 2 very specific people that I'm speaking to right now, who are my students at the moment, right? And so I'm thinking about them the whole time, and I can picture them. I know their personalities. I know what excites and motivates them. And so speaking to yourself or speaking to this sort of nebulous idea of like God or the universe is a choice. It's probably not going to be the strongest choice. Similarly, just speaking to an audience, so like maybe I'm doing a motivational speech, is this general idea of an audience of just, 12, 40, 100 faces is not as specific as speaking at a school reunion to your 5 best friends from high school. Yeah. In fact, not even your 5 best friends, like the bully, your first girlfriend, all these sorts of things, right? The more specific you can be about who you're talking to, the more activated your monologue is going to be and the more exciting it's going to be for the audience. Thank you.